What's up everyone, it's Aaron from Rudy Visuals, and in today's video we're reviewing a camera field monitor but with a bit of a twist. So you've seen cheap monitors on this channel and you've seen bright monitors on this channel, but now we have this huge monitor from Andycine, the Andycine C7. But does bigger necessarily mean better? Let's find out after that intro. So first up, full disclosure, Andycine did send us one of these monitors for free to review, but as always, all thoughts and opinions will always be fully independent regardless. But anyway, a huge thank you to Andycine for sending us one of these C7 monitors. Now, to be perfectly honest, we reviewed and use a ton of monitors from high end to low end. You know, we get sent monitors all the time, but we tend to review the ones we think that people would want to buy and that have, you know, some more interesting features. Most monitors are very similar within their price ranges, so it's really all about, you know, the build quality, the operating system and user interface, you know, that really make them stand out from one another. But right out of the bat, the sheer size of this monitor compared to monitors we've used in the past, it really does make the C7 stand out, you know, for better or for worse, in some cases, depending on your priorities. Now, it's important to note that you can buy this now for about £269, $269. So the C7 is already in a very, you know, packed market of very similar budget-friendly monitors, like I said, but we will get into why you might want to choose this over some of the other brands and models on the market. Anyway, firstly, let's check out what we get inside the box. So inside you get this surprisingly nice carry case, the monitor itself, of course, this L series plate for mounting on top of your camera. There's a couple of HDMI cables as well, instruction manual, warranty card, and cleaning cloth. So like with the majority of these devices, unfortunately you don't get any batteries included or any kind of power adapter either, so just bear that in mind. So first impressions, in terms of like build quality and design, you know, other than the bigger size, the monitor has quite a basic design with all the kind of like ports and buttons, you know, where you'd expect. So we get an HDMI out and in at the bottom, as well as DC in, DC out. So there's no SDI connection on this monitor. There's also a card reader on the side here, which can be used to upload your own LUTs and for firmware updates, I believe. And you can also place two Sony F970 batteries at the back, or any kind of similar Sony batteries that fit that same shape. On the top row, we have some function buttons, and then further along a menu scroll wheel as well. And there's also some mounts on the side and bottom, as well as a headphone jack for audio monitoring, your power switch, and on either side, some cooling vents as well. For a bigger monitor, it's actually not all that heavy at around 460 grams, though adding the two batteries at the back does add to that. It's definitely a lot of plastic, and you know, the buttons feel quite cheap. If you shake the monitor, you can actually hear the buttons moving and the dial moving slightly, which is somewhat worrying, but you know, considering the price, you know, most monitors at this price range are pretty similar. They are cheaply made. They're not going to be super durable or survive super harsh treatment. But I think most people buying monitors like this, they know how to treat their gear with care and understand that you do lose some of that, you know, premium feel and ruggedness in exchange for features and a good screen. This is very much a bang for your buck product. So overall, it's okay. Build quality is it's average. Now, one thing I do really like is having two rear battery slots on the back here, which means you can change batteries without interrupting your filming sessions, as you only need one to actually power it. It pulls power from one at a time, so you can hop swap them basically if you're on a longer shoot without access to power, which is a great way to extend, you know, your battery life. So I don't actually have my other Sony camera with me at the moment, but I do have this little 100D Canon, so you can kind of just see how much bigger the actual screen is compared to the screen of the actual camera body as well. So Yeah, it's quite a big chunky boy. But moving on to the most important thing, the display itself. So it's a 7-inch touchscreen. It's an IPS display. It's not gonna blow you away, but it does have 100% Rec. 709 color gamut. It's got a PPI of 440 and a 1200:1 contrast ratio. And on top of that, a maximum brightness of 2200 nits of brightness. So the 1920 by 1200 IPS display, it does provide actually quite nice looking colors. It's very vibrant with good color accuracy across the color spectrum for the most part. With regards to that peak brightness as well, most monitors at this price range, apart from one or two, don't get very bright. I think like 500 to 1000 nits. So this is kind of like 4 times more powerful than other similarly priced monitors in terms of brightness, which means that it's actually very usable in outdoors when it's sunny and very, very bright. Unlike some other monitors, which when you take it out in the sun, it's pretty much unusable. Touchscreens on these kinds of devices have also been a bit hit and miss for me, but I have to say the touchscreen on the C7 is great. It's very responsive, and it certainly helps that the OS and the software is very snappy, something that isn't the case again with some other brands and models. I really do like some of these quick touchscreen shortcuts, like being able to adjust the volume and brightness by swiping up and down on either side of the screen. You can also double tap to bring up the menu, and of course those shortcut buttons at the top, which you can actually program in the menus to bring up whatever suits your needs best. So in terms of the features, the C7 is absolutely jam-packed with everything you might need to get great framing, composition, and nail down your focus and get your exposure and colors perfect. So everything from false colors, you've got focus assist, zebra exposures, vector scopes, waveforms. Personally, I always love having my 9 grids on so I can get my rule of thirds. And also having focus assist is really useful when I'm using manual focus, and I can see exactly where my shot is in focus. And as I often film myself and I don't have a flip out screen on my A7 III, being able to see the audio levels is also super convenient, and being able to mirror and flip the screen around as well. And having quick access to all these this huge range of features like this, it's a great way to give you easy access to professional tools, especially if you are using like a lower end camera that might not have all these features built into the body. The ability as well to install and use your own LUTs is always a welcome addition. There are a few pre-installed already, as you can see here. And again, it does help that you get a really nice, clean, simple, but very snappy and fast responding operating system. Where you do get a lot of bang for your buck is the sheer amount of features that you have here, as well as the overall ease of use as well. Now, in terms of sort of issues or annoyances, firstly, I did find that at least the model I have here, it did get quite warm when I was using it for long periods of time. Bear in mind, it is like 28 degrees here in London right now. It's very hot, but even still, it did get quite warm at the back, more so than I'm used to. Didn't really seem to affect performance or anything like that, but it's definitely worth mentioning. I also couldn't seem to find any way to show your battery indicator, which is quite annoying. So if you're powering it via batteries, it'd be very useful to know how much juice you have left. So that's kind of, kind of a big problem. And lastly, I didn't know, the exact response time of this monitor screen. I couldn't find that information anywhere, but I did notice a very, very slight lag. It's not a huge issue. We're talking like milliseconds here, but I can definitely feel it. And I guess the overall build quality, like I mentioned before, has to be considered a con as well. But I think overall, in summary, for the price range, it's getting a recommendation for sure. Especially if you do want a screen that's a little bit bigger than some of the other monitors, you get a little bit more real estate. And that peak brightness as well, all those features you're getting, that snappy, clean operating system for the price of $270. You're getting quite a lot of value here in this monitor, so I'm definitely very happy with the monitor. Overall, it's a great choice for the price. And just in terms of features, it's one of the best monitors at this price point for sure. That's pretty much it for this review. If you have any questions, do feel free to leave them down in the comment section below. I'll do my best to try and answer them. Don't forget to follow us on socials, Facebook, Insta. Always love hearing from you guys on there. And if you like this video, do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe if you loved it. And yeah, I guess I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.